Ready to fire her up?
Ready.
Here we go. Oh! 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 Just like old times, baby. Just like old times. It's really a true blessing to have it back in my life. After everything that I've been through with it, honestly didn't think I was going to see the car again.
Hand him the license out of the...
There you go. And then you need the cable as well.
Yeah, I need to, if you could slide that piece over this way.
Yeah, just twist it around for me.
Yeah. All right.
All right, we're good.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Free and clear out of the auction. This is what you live for.
It was about 11 years ago, February 2015, that my cousin bought this beautiful torch red 2003 Mustang Mach 1. This was a picture at the DMV the day he bought the car next to my Bullet. We were really excited and met up at the DMV so he could register it and get it. And this was a car he really wanted, and he went out and bought it, and he had a black Bullet at the time as well. And he was just doing what we were all doing. Our whole group of friends just loved acquiring Mustangs and having fun with them, especially the new edge cars. This Mach 1 was a very nice purchase with really clean interior. You just saw those Mach 1 floor mats. The paint was really nice on it. The seats were in fantastic shape. I mean, this was a beautiful car. It really showed as nice as my Mach 1, my Azure Blue at the time, that had probably about 50,000 less miles on it or more. So this was a really nice car. It had about 140,000 miles, somewhere around there, when he bought it. And this is a picture of it at my house, and you could just see how nice of a car it was. I was always impressed with how beautiful this car is. Here's out with my Bullet, his Mach 1, and my brother's Mach 1. And we would go out and enjoy time together and cruise around and have these cars to enjoy. It's always been a lot of fun. And there's my son hanging out in his car. And my cousin would bring it over to my house, and he'd drive up like that onto the side of the curb and do the oil change. And he tried to take really good care of it. It needed the oil filter adapter gasket changed. You can see the Bullet Mustang in the garage there, and I have a whole story about this car and the history, and a lot of these pictures are from that, and so you can just see how excited my cousin was. That's at his house, and then those are all my tools because I bring them over and we work on the cars together and spend good quality time as family and do a lot of fun car stuff. And at one point he was keeping the car at my house, and so I had it in the side yard, and I had a cover on it that I tried to keep, the car clean. I would wash it and then put the cover on it, and covers can be a little bit aggressive and abrasive on them, so I was trying the best I could to protect it but keep it out of the sun. And there was a lot of things that went on with this car as time went on, where my cousin wasn't able to take care of it as much as he wanted to, and it stayed here at my house. And we did some things. We swapped some suspension parts around. These are the iBox springs that came out of it. Unfortunately, one of the springs was actually broken. It was driving around with broken springs on it. So it has my Mach 1's original springs in it. And I had pieced together a set of springs with what was left over from that lowering spring kit. And I even used the caster camber plates that were on the car. So there was just a lot going on with this car. I have the whole story about it. I did my Mach 1 suspension at the same time, and we swapped some things over and everything, but the car stayed at my house, and I would drive it just a little bit just to keep it good and current. And a couple times I drove it out by the airport. I took it to work a couple nights. It was just kind of fun to have the car around. And my brother would come over, and he had his red Mach 1 as well. And you'll see later on that I actually got a red Mach 1, so all three of us cousins had red Mach 1s. And, he'd bring it over for occasional maintenance. We'd see the rear diff was leaking, and we'd do a fluid change and change the diff cover and eventually the pinion seal and things on it. But this is a little walk around of the car that I wanted to show of how nice this car used to be, because this was years ago. So at the time that it was in my possession and I was taking care of it, this car was absolutely gorgeous, and I just was always in awe in how nice it was and how well kept it was, especially for the miles. And we'll look at the Carfax here in a minute, which I recently obtained thanks to my friend Justin, who has a car dealership. And this car was actually a California car its whole life, and then it went to Utah towards the end, and that's when my cousin picked it up. So, but look at the seats, the bolster, everything on this car was just ship shape, and for the mileage, it showed like a low mileage Mach 1, and it drove smooth. I remember shifting with it and loving how smooth it shifted. That Mach 1 coin delete he added and had it laser etched and everything. Interior upgrade package car, and just a beautiful car all around. So that was just a little bit of a walk around, because I know I had this video of what the car used to look like at the time. So you'll see in a long series of events in the original story about this car how it sat for several years without a transmission in it, and there was a lot of things that went wrong with friendships and family issues and all sorts of problems, but it sat and sat and sat in the sun, and it was not being taken care of the way that it should have been. And we did everything we could to try to help with the situation, but ultimately I was interested in buying the car, but I couldn't buy it for the price he was in it. He was upside down in the car, and there were all sorts of little issues like that. So the car sat, and we would go check up on it, and I was trying to get a transmission put back in it, and every time I tried to arrange that with a friend who had the car in his possession, he would make up an excuse, and there were problems, and that's all explained in the original story. But ultimately, I bought my own torch red Mach 1. That's it on the right, and it has mismatched wheels on it just because of what I was doing with the car at the time. But mine was a beautiful car. It had about 140,000 miles on it, so they were similar in mileage. And ultimately, as you can see here, his Mach 1 had a broken transmission put in the trunk, and the car was called in to be repossessed. And so we were lucky to get the car back before it went to collection, and we had some extra transmissions lying around. This one on the right is a TR3650 out of his Black Bullet. The one on the left was the broken T45 that shouldn't have been with the car, that was thrown in there, and that wasn't very honest of the friend who was doing that, but that's all water under the bridge. The point is, we put that Bullet's transmission back in it because it still worked, and we got the car back together, and my cousin was able to enjoy it for a little bit of time. And the car, you could see here in these pictures, had a cat going inside of it and getting it dirty. That was all what was happening while it was sitting with no transmission, but still a nice car. It was looking pretty good. The shaker was faded. He did end up repainting that, and you can see here he is washing the car and cleaning it up once he got it back in his possession again. You see how faded that shaker was. That was pretty bad. But the car was sitting outside, and it was just starting to bake, and cars can go downhill really fast when they sit like that. So here we are with the drive shaft. We had to get some of these parts back because they were not all with the car when we got it back, and we were able to put the add some fluid to the rear end because it needed it, and just get it back in shape and driving condition again. So here it is with my red Mach 1 and some other ones, and you can see the tires were shredding on the inside. There's things where we're like, you can't drive it to town like this. This isn't going to work. We need to make sure it's safe for you to drive, and it's a long story. But we ultimately did get the car up on 4 jack stands, and we stabbed the transmission back up in there and got it running. And the day he got the car running and drove off with it, he was really excited, and he got down to the gas station and filled it up with gas, but it was so low on gas that the hot fuel pump seized up, and his fuel pump was basically dead. So we had to go down. This was a day I had worked like 13 or 16 hours, and I went straight from work, got my tools, went to the Walmart parking lot, and we dropped the fuel tank, my brother and me, and we got this car back up and running. So a lot of history with this car. We really bonded with this car when we'd work on it all the time and cruise around all the time and just have it. It was just so much fun enjoying these cars when they were still relatively new at the time. I mean, we're talking about as old as a Gen 2 Coyote would be in today's time frame. So here's our 3 Mach 1s, the cousins Mach 1s. It was so fun to have the 3 of them together, and you know, it's something we're always going to remember. And sometimes I look back at these pictures and I'm like, man, I really miss being able to do that and have all these cars together. And I don't have my red one anymore, but I do have a yellow one in its place now, and my azure blue one. So, you know, still plenty of cars to go along. Mine had the deck lid panel there on the back. I really like that. And so it was fun cruising around and having cousin time together, and you know, being with friends and everything. So these are just really cool pictures. I love how they turned out, you know, going places with 3 cars going down the road. It was just fun. Everybody snapping their neck, looking over and seeing these Mach 1s in town. And, you know, there were a few red Mach 1s in town. So for how rare they are, it's actually kind of cool to see, you know, a big pack of them going down the road like that and being in the same town. So the huge story today is the series of events that led us to get this car back, because my cousin eventually ended up losing the car, and he was in kind of a bad situation with a friend, and you know, the friend had owned the car and sold it to him on payments, and things went really sour, and it's really unfortunate how that all worked out. But basically, the way it all happened is the friend had sent the car to auction. Now, to make things worse, my cousin Zach had broken 3rd and 4th gear in the transmission, so the car was going to be auctioned off, and the people bidding on the car didn't know that it had a broken transmission. So that would ultimately keep the price up on the car. Now, it did have a new short block in it from an automatic Mach 1, and his friend had put that in with his original DB casting heads. So, you know, that had it going for it, but the car was going to auction. It had 189,000 miles on it now, so it really wasn't going to bring in a whole lot of money, and we were trying to get the car back because the friend would not sell the car to my brother, who was trying to buy back from him. This is not Danny Johnson, this is my other brother. So while this was all going on, my friend and neighbor bought this black Terminator, and we were always talking about the cars together, and he had met my cousin and we had talked about him a lot, and I had just mentioned that the Mach 1 was probably going to auction, that it had a broken transmission, that there were a lot of things wrong that we tried to figure out, but we're not sure if we're going to be able to get this car back. And he said, well, I have a dealer's license. If you want to bid on the car, you just let me know. We'll see what we can get it for. Maybe it won't go for very much. And so I really didn't know whether I should try to buy the car back, and you know, it was going to need a transmission and things, but it had a huge amount of sentimental value to my cousin and to us. And I ultimately told my friend, let's go ahead and bid on it. I'll bid up to, you know, $4,200, given that it's going to need probably a $1,000 transmission. It has higher mileage. You know, and the wholesale value was listing the car for $3,500. So I said we should probably be able to get it for a good deal, but let's see if we can do that. So I met up with my friend, and we met at his house, and he got his laptop all on and logged in, and he said, all right, we're going to bid on this car. And it was like the last one to go. So we were nervous for like an hour, 2 hours, I think. We sat there, watched all the cars go through, waiting for this one to go through. And so here's the auction. And, you know, it's really sad to see this car roll into the auction, and, you know, it's not part of your family anymore, and you want it back so bad. And, you know, you're seeing it presented to be bought by, you know, all these dealers who want it for a cheap price, but they're not interested if it needs work, and they don't even know that it had the broken transmission. Now, what we didn't know was my cousin had a friend who was going to bid on it too. So we were actually bidding against each other, which was driving the price up. So here's the footage of it going through the auction. I did film it.
This is Newton. No. It's moving up quick. That's probably the max. I don't think anyone's go higher than that.
So you could see that the car was listed, and it actually even said it had brand new aluminum heads, which is not true. It had the original heads back on it and stuff. So there's some false things about the advertising. It didn't say that it had the broken transmission like I mentioned, which really bugged me because I wanted to get the car as low price as possible. Because at the time, my cousin had only owed like $2,000 on it or whatever. So now if we get it back, he would have to pay more than what he owed on it, what he had paid it down to already. So it was a really, really rough situation. But anyway, we did have, the concern that the people selling it would put a big reserve on it. And ultimately that's what happened. You saw we did win the high bid. And again, we were bidding against a friend that we didn't know, and we still got the high bid, but they set the reserve way up at like $6,500, which it's like at that price, it's just not going to happen. And so my friend was a little confused. He called the auction house. He said, "Hey, we were the high bidder, what's going on?" And they said, well, it had a reserve on it. So they acted as a mediator, and my friend talked to the auction house, and the auction house talked to the dealer, and they just went back and forth on the price. And we said we're willing to pay, a certain amount for it, and they said no. And so the bid goes on, right? So I guess the car went to auction 3 more times, and it didn't even get near what we had bid on it because there weren't people fighting over it. Me and the other guy weren't fighting over it anymore. And so after a few weeks, which was way better weather to go get the car, the dealership reached out to my friend and said, "Hey, I noticed that you were high bidder at the auction." And my friend sent me that information, said, are you wanting to try to get this car? And I said, yeah, let's pursue it, And so he said, "Hey, I'm willing to sell it to you for this price," which was high. And my friend said, "No, I bid up about as high as I wanted to go, considering it says it has some issues and this and that." And ultimately they agreed to sell it at a certain price. And so I was like, all right, I will buy the car this second. I'll bring you cash, whatever needs to happen. Let's just get the car secured and figure out how we're going to go pick it up, because it was about 5 hours away in Salt Lake City. And, I got talking with my younger brother, and, he's the one that has, all the LS cars and the new Z06 Corvette and stuff. And he was like, I'm happy to go pay for this car and buy it if you want, just to make it easier on everybody. And I thought, well, that would probably be a better idea, because I was considering that I was going to buy the car, fix it myself, maybe drive it for a little while until my cousin could get on his feet enough to buy the car and get it back and enjoy it. But my brother said, "I'm happy to float this car if you want me to just buy it, and we can take care of it, and we'll work on it together with our cousin, and we'll just have a fun time with it." And I thought, I talked it over with my wife, and she's like, "You already have 7 Mustangs, you probably shouldn't be buying another one anyway." And so I said, okay, I let him go ahead and make the arrangements. And so at that time I turned it over to my friend, and I let them coordinate buying the car, picking it up, and everything. And in the meantime, my friend and I spent days and days and days with my friend trying to buy the car and looking up information about it and stuff. My friend had actually bought the auto check report, and I thought that was really cool to see where this car was from. As a matter of fact, it was near my good friends Ron and Gina, who are original owners of a beautiful zinc yellow 03 Mach 1, and they live in the Sacramento area. And it looks like their Mach 1 was probably at the same dealership as this Mach 1 when they were brand new. So I spoke with them about it, and it was really cool to hear that they said that they lived there from 94 to 2015, and their Mach 1 was bought at Future Ford in the Roseville Auto Mall. And that when they bought it in September of 03, September 1st, the dealership had 2 Mach 1s there, their zinc yellow car and a red one, so it's got to be the same car. And so that's really fun to look through the auto check and see it was in Roseville at the beginning of its life. And then it stayed nearby and went to Lodi, L-O-D-I, California, and then down to Elk Grove, California, where after that it went to Utah, where my cousin was able to get it after that third owner had it. So I find this really interesting to see all these green check boxes. You know, this car has been through a lot, and you know, it's never been in an accident. It's never had any other issues. And so I love looking through this and seeing all the different things. Now, it was built in June of 2003, very close to when my 10th anniversary Cobra was made. It's about 10 days difference. And my blue Mach 1 was made later in July, but also my yellow Mach 1 was in June. And that is really interesting because his Mach 1 has the DB heads on it, which were very late. But my yellow Mach 1 was probably one of the last to get the 4-thread heads because they were both June built cars. But really cool to see. But I just love looking through here and seeing all the different places the car lived. And, you know, it went from California to Utah. So it was in pretty nice climate. It wasn't really bad. I mean, underneath the car is really clean. And it's only had a little bit of winter driving up in northern Utah. Well, my cousin had it at certain times, but for the last 11 years it's been down here in the desert. So, well, this was all going on a little side note, my brother was driving around, the one who has just agreed to buy the Mach 1, and he saw this torch red Mach 1 sitting in a driveway with a Trans Am, which is what he loves. He loves all the cars, but he's had so many of those F-bodies, and he saw this and he sent me a picture of it. He's like, I found a Mach 1. Should I knock on the door and tell him that I just bought one too? So this is a car we know around town. We called it the Walmart Mach 1 because the guy who owned it worked at the Walmart distribution center. I have a whole video about this car. So there's just all these cool little things that are lining up, and Mach 1's being sighted all over the place, and it's just a lot of fun. So here he is pulling up on this Mach 1 in his Corvette.
Look at this, driving by in the little suburbs area behind Boulevard Home. There's a red Mach 1 sitting here and a Trans Am.
So that was really fun to see, and if you looked closely, you'll notice that Mach 1's in kind of rough shape. The paint's peeling on it. It has a lot of miles on it. I know the car had been rear-ended really bad. Just a really cool car that I saw that one when it was brand new here in town. So really cool history on that car as well. You can see there's a block of wood or a brick, by the front wheel, and my brother said there was something underneath it too. So he thinks they're working on it right now or whatever, but that car has been around forever, so it's kind of cool to see, and I assume the owner's just gonna do what it needs to do. I should probably go talk to him sometime. But anyway, cool story about that car. But well, basically what happened was I talked with my brother about how we would go up there, the logistics of who would get the car and when and how, and he was flying up to Montana in his personal airplane, and he was going to come back through and just stop in Salt Lake and drive the car home and then go back and get his airplane with another friend who has also a little private airplane. And the weather started getting crazy, and it was just, things were really, really hard to coordinate, and we didn't want the car to sit at the auction lot too long, and we didn't know if there's going to be fees impacted on us or all sorts of stuff like that. So ultimately my brother was going to buy some tires for it and drive it home, because in the auction pictures that I looked through with my friend, it had a ton of pictures, and I didn't really get a good look at them, but it looked like the back tires were like really bald and the cords were showing through them. So we were concerned that it wasn't going to be able to make it home, and it had some bullet wheels on it, not like it does in this picture. And so that's a whole story of how, and he talks about it here in a minute, you'll see. But basically, I had some extra wheels that I thought we could throw in the back of a Suburban. He could go up there with my mom, and they could, because my mom was heading up there anyway, and then he could just drive the car home, maybe swap the wheels out if needed. So here's the wheels in the back of the car, and here is my brother meeting up with my cousin.
The victory walk.
Odessa and Salt Lake City. Never thought this moment was going to come. We're walking to a very unique car that has a very unique story. one that will be up on Justin SVT channel.
Shout out to Justin SVT, the Mustang expert.
The second to last row. So he said it's
On the north fence,
on
yes.
the north fence. So it's going to be over here somewhere. We're walking, and it's about 32 degrees outside. Just snowed up in northern Utah. Now, good cuz is going to have to drive it all the way home. Put some tires on it.
Yep. New transmission,
New transmission, 6-speed.
Kenny Bell
256.
supercharger.
Kenny Bell or Eaton, one of the
Eaton.
two. All right, the second row to the back. I think I see a red thing popping out at the end down there. Is that it? This is a big walk.
Yep.
Just keep walking.
You see something red in a minute.
Yeah, it'll pop out. The red pops out whenever you see it. Let's see. Oh, surreal moment.
Surreal moment. How do you feel?
Surreal. I feel surreal. Yes, sir. Let's go. I feel good.
Man,
cold,
it's starting
though.
to snow. It's coming down again.
It's been snowing all day.
Yes. Look how low those clouds are. Look at that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cars in here.
1,000-foot ceiling, at least.
Are we getting closer? We're getting closer.
Yep, I can feel it.
Feel it?
Yep.
Ooh, there's a Mustang right there. Red fire Mustang. Ooh, that one's sweet.
With a red windshield.
That's a
Look at
5.0.
that.
It's a nice 5.0.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, it's a weird tint windshield on that thing. Weird, long. I can finally see the car that I've had for over 10 years. It's been blown up and bounced around, and then now it needs a new transmission, and it's gonna get that and a supercharger someday, and then I'm gonna have a Terminator Mach is what I'm gonna have. Oh, there she is, dude. There she is. Oh, that's sick. Oh, it has a Carfax sticker on it. Take it off. I don't want that on there. Get that crap off of there. Taking that crap off of there. You don't want that on there. That's from his dealership. You don't want that.
You gotta get that off, huh?
I know, I need a scraper. Where's the scraper at?
Where's the key at? That's the question. Are we supposed to
Key?
grab a key, or do they put them?
In the car.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
yep.
in the ignition still. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, buddy. Oh, it feels so good to sit in it. Yeah, it's probably dead. You're right. Your mom did bring this. Yeah, the battery's dead.
We're gonna have to, jump start it. Okay, let's see if it still has an engine.
Yeah, it does. Oh,
Oh,
yeah, buddy. Look at her. She's just sleeping over here in the snow like she has before. Okay, hook this sucker up. Little Noco. We gotta hook up the ends to it. It's cold. It's cold out here, isn't it?
it is freezing.
Noco.
I'm just smiling ear to ear watching this. I'm like so happy for Zach.
Negative and positive. Negative. Positive. And then we turn this sucker on. And we hit that override button. And she's gonna fire right up. She's gonna fire right up. This thing off of there. There we go. Ready to fire her up?
Ready.
Here we go. Oh! 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 Just like old times, baby. Just like old times. Listen to her purr.
They're gonna pack that up.
Listen to her purr. There she is. She's alive. Oh, she's all frosty. Icicles all over her. She got icicles all over her. Get out of there, icicles. Oh, such a good feeling. Sounds so good. There.
So at this point, he was peeling off the dealership sticker where he had the bad experience with a friend and stuff. So that's all they're doing right here. But I didn't want to name drop or have any issues with that.
Never again. Never again.
Never again. What'd you say?
Said that she sat for a while, so that's why she didn't fire up. It's because the battery got too cold. When the battery gets cold in these cars, then they don't fire up. Justin will tell you that too.
Yep. Is it like Christmas?
I love Christmas. This is a second Christmas, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Right above the Mach 1 emblem, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's turn the lights on when we're at it. Check all the lights. Let's see what we got here. Shut this radio off. Okay. And fog lights. Okay, they're on. Okay, lights work. Fog lights work.
Yeah. Say goodbye. More. No more of this nonsense.
And so this was the picture that I got from my mother, who was there, and she sent this. And you know, she loves her nephew, and we just all love our family so much. And I was just really excited to get these videos. I had the picture, and that was really nice, but I'm really happy that my brother filmed all this for the YouTube channel. I asked him if I could get some footage, and you know, he did all this for me. So and for all of us who enjoy watching this content. So big thanks to him for all that. So let's continue as they get the car out of the auction.
Coming off.
Well, now we'll find out. I had no idea of knowing if I was gonna buy something with a engine that didn't run, or something was wrong with it, or who knows. This is at the auction, and it looks like it's running smooth. Everything looks good so far. It sounds good. Just warming up. There's Mach 1 gauges. Chrome ball shifter like I had in my Mustang in high school. All right, back looks pretty good. I'm hearing a pretty prominent whining sound though. Yeah.
Sound very good.
How's it feel?
It feels good. I mean, just trying to figure out if that's rust or what that is. I think it's rust. I think it's just rust.
Yeah, they looked like they had a little surface rust.
It's probably just a little surface rust.
car again.
Oh, that's crazy, dude.
There's Gava's tunes. First song since getting it back. Here you go.
So this was really cool to see my cousin driving his Mach 1, taking it out of the auction. Again, my brother did a huge favor for him to get this car and secure it for him and just get it back in the family. And you know, it's just awesome to see. I was smiling. I was at work when this was all going down and he was sending me videos as he went, and I was just smiling ear to ear, just so excited for this.
How's it going? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
let
I
me
think it's
grab
in
it
the
for you.
jacket here. Yeah. Let's give him that. Yep.
There you are. Yeah.
I see your license now.
Yep.
And then the plastic piece in that cable, you can send it over here.
Okay, here's the light. You handed the license out of it. Yep.
There you go. And then you need the cable as well.
Yeah, I need to, if you could slide that piece over this way.
Yeah, just twist it around for him. Yeah.
There you are.
Alright, we're good.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Free and clear out of the auction.
Yeah,
This is what you live for.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
buddy.
Oh,
Jack
my
and
gosh.
boy, he's happy.
Where are they?
Yep, they're all waiting there. So with the third and fourth gear out in this transmission, right?
Third and fourth gear do not work. That's correct.
So if you're below 40 miles an hour, kind of have to keep it down in second, higher RPMs. Everybody thinks you're trying to race them or being obnoxious.
Yeah, buddy.
And then fifth gear once you get over that. That's the trick to this.
Yeah, buddy. Here we go. Bringing her back to the house after going up to the auction, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Smith? There she is. Callie! I'm putting the sticker. There you go. Let's hear her. Let's hear her. Let's hear her.
Is that all the way in or do
Yeah,
I need to
that's
go?
good.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Checking the oil.
Checking the oil.
See, it looks like it's kind of touching on the bottom of the dipstick. Looks like it's touching on the very bottom. So it's need to add a little bit of oil to it, like a quart or so. We will need to add some oil. You can open it up and just look inside. Make sure that it looks like it's not too dry in there. There's still some oil in there.
Yeah.
So we'll add some. Don't want to starve it on the way home. That would be bad. And then check the coolant as well. Check the coolant. I think the coolant level may need to be added a little bit as well.
Yeah, I think we're gonna need to add some.
Yeah, we'll have to add some. as
Definitely below the level.
well. Yeah. And then the
Power steering.
it looks like it needs a little bit as well. So a couple of topped off fluids. I'm still in the car game, and then I can still go to car meets and stuff when I get my. And when this car is all done, and it has a new transmission in it, once it has a new transmission, then when it's paid off and I have the title, then I'll start looking. I'll start saving some money for a Kenny Bell supercharger. And it'll pretty much be a Terminator Mach. I don't need it here. Put this in there. Let's see, turn the light on here so I can see it. Can you see it coming up? Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it was just barely low.
Yeah.
That's probably good. Yeah. Today's February 18th, 2026. I got my Mach 1 back. It's pretty surreal. It feels really good. I honestly thought that I wasn't going to see this car ever again. I had this car originally. I bought this car here in Saratoga Springs in 2015. And I bought it from a guy that just lived, honestly, not too far from where I live currently. And it was pretty surreal to, see it for the first time. I think I remember when I went and looked at it, everything was just perfect on it. The paint was beautiful. I only had 129,000 miles on the car when I got it. So just thinking back about the life of this car is pretty amazing. Today's been a pretty awesome day. I've been able to kind of rewind and be grateful for something to come back. So, but yeah, this is a 2003 Torch Red Mach 1, 32 valve V8. I don't know exactly how many of them they made in red, but I think the number was fairly decent. I could tell you that I wouldn't know the exact numbers, but Justin SVT could tell you the exact numbers on that. About the car, honestly, it's been through the whole ringer and back. It's been blown up, sat in my garage in southern Utah for 6 years. It sat with a blown up motor, and now it currently has a motor in it that was out of a used Mach 1 that was installed not too long ago by a dealership that I won't mention. I've driven it. It's been great. I haven't had any problems motor wise. I was a little bit hard on the transmission, and that's kind of caused the Synchros to have some issues in third and fourth gear. And so right now the transmission's currently broken. I can't really shift it too well. I can go into first, second, and then I can kind of get it into fifth gear. So it still works. It's still drivable, but it's not fully functional. So I'll have to put a transmission in it. Honestly, thinking about doing a T56 6-speed. I think that's the next transmission that's going to go in this car. And then shortly after that will be either Kenny Bell or Eaton supercharger. So this car will eventually be a Terminator Mach 1 is what it will end up being in the end. With the way that this car is now currently, it's just still amazed me that, right now it's dirty because it was in the yard at the auction and it was snowing, and so it's not too clean. But one thing I love about this car is the rear wing. I've always loved the rear wing on the back, and the shaker on the hood. The shaker is a big
So having owned a Bullitt Mustang and a Mach 1, what are some of the features of the Mach 1 that you really like?
Yeah, so honestly, just the hood and the hood scoop are the two primary. I really like the back window, how it cuts in right here. On the GTs, they don't do that, and Adjusted SVT has explained it before. They just come straight down. They don't cut in like that, more of that fastback look. That little kind of aggressive rear window is always something cool to see. The rear spoiler is another thing. They didn't do those on the Bullitt. So that's another aggressive look on the car. Honestly, the Bullitt wheels aren't really made for the Mach 1. I've been running them on the Mach 1 because I kind of let my Mach wheels go with the other car, and so these ones just stayed on this car. But the Mach wheels are nice. If you are going to run Mach 1 wheels, you need to have the deep dish wheels in the back. I think it looks more aggressive that way. That's what I would go for if I was going to buy wheels for this car. Let's see, what else? Honestly, the seats are really sweet because they have that gray stripe. If you look in the front, there's a gray stripe in the front of the seats, and on the rear seats as well, in the back. It just gives it more of an aggressive interior look. I've always liked that. I love the shift knob. Also, I did have the center console coin deleted, and I had that etched at a place here in Salt Lake. A guy did it for me, and I've just loved it ever since. It just looks professional. It looks like the same Mach 1 wording on the back of the car. So that was another thing that I've always loved, is just seeing that when I'm driving it. It just kind of pops and grabs my eye. But yeah, I mean, the Mach 1 has quite a few more features than the Bullet. Not to mention the hood scoop, the rear window. The wheels are different. It has a stripe on the bottom. That's another thing too. There's a stripe across the bottom, and in the front it says Mach 1. The Bullets didn't have that. That wasn't something they had. I know the Salines did something like that as well, and so I kind of, the Salines and Mach 1s, I kind of like both, but I would still prefer Mach 1 over a Saline. Some people would disagree with me on that, but that's how I feel. Yeah.
So what's your favorite feature about the Mach 1? What draws you to this car?
I mean, honestly, I think it's just the fact that it's a 32 valve and that it's got the shaker. The GT, the Bullets, they don't have the shaker, the true shaker. Just seeing that when, you know, move to the side when you're going from gear to gear, when you're in the high RPMs, and just kind of seeing the whole motor kind of try to grab and shift is just really surreal when you're pulling those gears. So that was one of the main things. I love the shaker on it. I love the hood on this car. It kind of goes hand in hand. I mean, this hood is like a 3-tone hood. You got 3 different steps here, so it kind of jumps up 3. When you're sitting in the car, it just looks aggressive when you're in the driver's seat. I just love that look of the hood. I wouldn't want any other hood on this car. This is the hood that I believe they made the best with these cars, and I wouldn't change it. I would leave it just the way it is. I did bump into a trailer at my old job, and I actually dented the bumper. We had to pop it back out. It's got a little ripple dent right there. It's been there for quite some time. Probably gonna stay there until I decide to fix it, but not too much cosmetic damage or body damage on the car. But the interior is absolutely beautiful. I mean, the only tear is just this one up in the seat right here. It's just that started happening in the last probably, I don't know, I would say 6 months to a year. But the seats are really nice. I mean, this car, if you could take a guess with the current condition of the interior, it's got 189,000 miles on it. So we are approaching 200,000 miles. When I bought it, it had 129, so you know we're looking at about roughly 70,000 miles or so almost. It's coming up on 70,000. 60,000 miles is what I put on the car since I've owned it. But yeah, I mean it's just been quite a story on this thing. I remember when I went and bought it for the first time, I took it down to southern Utah to St. George, and Justin SVT was there, Danny Johnson, my cousin Daniel. So we were all there. We all got to see the car, and everyone was super excited for me because I always wanted a Mach 1. And I finally gotten it in 2015 after Justin had sent me a post. Another crazy thing about this car is that the original wheels are Mach wheels, but they actually aren't on the car right now. Right now there's Bullet wheels on the car. I had a 2001 Bullet that I was kind of playing around with, and the tires were worn down. I swapped the rims over, and those were the Mach 1 wheels. I didn't actually end up swapping them back over. I had a little situation with that car, but yeah, I mean, these ones are fine. They still look good when you drive down the road. I'll probably end up getting, Mach wheels back or FR 500s. I've been considering. I've been kind of going back and forth between those. I know I do like the Rovos, but Justin SVT and Danny Johnson could say otherwise. But yeah, I mean, this thing, it's really a true blessing to have it back in my life. After everything that I've been through with it, honestly didn't think I was going to see the car again. So just to know that it's here and that I'm back with it again is going to mean that I'm going to put more time into it and more of my efforts to build it the way that I want it to be someday.
What's your favorite memory of this car of all time?
Oh man, memories in this car. It's hard to say, but I think there was a time when we went to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and I want to say the car ran a 13.1. I think it's the quarter-mile track time, which was really good. I don't think I quite got into the 12s, but I think I had a 13.1, or it was maybe a 13.7. It was somewhere in the 13s, and I remember racing Justin SVT and his, and we were just neck and neck. The cars were pretty much the same. I mean, they had exhaust and bolt-ons at that time, so those were some of my best memories. Also, driving it across country to Jackson, Mississippi back in 2015, right after I had bought it. I had only owned the car for like a year, and I went out there to try to do summer sales, and I took my wife and my daughter with me. It was a surreal experience, just driving it across country. All right, today's the day that Daniel drives it back to southern Utah, St. George. He's gonna go back to southern Utah. Taking the kids to the bus stop today.
Okay, today is the drive back home to St. George, Utah, the Mach 1. Putting some premium in it. Ready to go. Be a fun little road trip back to St. George. Well, we've made it to Parowan. So far, so good. Ice cold.
Again, it's really awesome for my brother to have taken some footage of this whole experience, and he got the car washed and cleaned up, got the salt off of it, and I was getting home from work about the same time, and I saw this little car, and this is what I thought. You probably could have bought that for the same price, the Mach 1. You know, if without the clutch at about 2,000, you can slide it into gear when the synchros line up.
Well, and remember the clutch on this is like you barely back it out and it grabs.
So it grabs early.
Yeah, very early.
I do remember when I drove it up in Orem, I noticed that.
Uh-huh. Turismo growing up.
Yeah, this is the shaker rattling.
Oh, so
But yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's clean.
Sounds good.
Yeah, reminds me of Zach. It just does. You can see the steam. I can see it, but
Yeah, it's coming out good. Let's see if we can see where it's coming out. Interesting. It looks like it's coming right up through here, but I know it's not. That's a no. Yeah, it's on this side for sure.
is it? Usually they get a crack right down here on these aluminum parts, those silver parts there.
Oh boy.
That's usually where the crack happens, or the water pump usually drizzles. But yeah,
Well, the
I mean it's a.
the battery's new, which is good. It's a 24,
Oh, is it?
So
Okay.
it's new enough to not, it charged itself, it cycled, and it starts up now on its own. So that's good. I thought it was like a 5-year-old battery. That's what he was saying.
Yeah, I think that's leaking, or it's got to have some kind of a hairline crack or something.
I review the footage of me backing it out of the driveway. I can see all that steam coming out of the radiator there. So probably has a cracked radiator. But as far as I know, that's the original radiator to this car with 189,000 miles on it. And with the engine being pulled out of it, it could have got damaged too. So I gave my brother a ride back to his house, and I just love coming up and seeing the Mach 1 at my place for now. We'll get it all fixed up and ready to go.
Well, it is good to see you again, buddy. Oh, you like your stay in the auction? Mine was starting to do this, my torch red Mach 1. Still really nice on the sides though. Beautiful car. I love this car. Good to have it back in the family. Whiskey dents. Beautiful car. Wow. Love it. See, I thought I saw a cord coming through here, but it must have just been dirt. I did the pinion seal on it, so shouldn't be leaking. Yeah, we'll have some fun.
Something cool that I wanted to bring up as a little bonus feature was you heard my cousin Zach saying that the guy he bought it from lived nearby up there in Lehi, Utah. And one day, my friend Koa, who has the white Mach 1, was cruising up in the mountains with some Mustang friends, and a random stranger walked up to them and said, "Hey, I used to have a Mach 1. And they said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah, this is the car." And he pulled out a picture on his phone and said, "I live in Lehi, and I sold it to a guy, a younger kid down in St. George, Utah." And so we're like, that's got to be Zach, 100%. We know it was. So that's kind of cool that the guy had produced a picture of this car when he owned it. So that was pretty cool. Another neat thing was my brother, Danny Johnson, had actually sent me this short video clip from, years ago. Flat tire.
Thing is dirty.
Yeah. Cracked windshield. Flat tire. can still save it. The interior is so nice. So anyway, that's the story of how he got the car back. We're working on the car right now. I did a few things on it today. We'll get to it here soon. There'll be a couple more updates as we go, but you know, this was an incredible story and an incredible thing to happen. And again, I want to give my younger brother, you know, a huge credit for doing all this and stepping up and saving this car from the auction. And you know, my friend Justin, who helped get the car back through the auction, that was very cool of him too. So everybody who's involved, you know, we're all grateful, and we just love doing car things together and having these fun memories. And you know, the cars wouldn't be anything without the people involved. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more updates on this car and more Mustang content.